To understand the nature of the sun in Cancer, first make sure that you're clear about what the sun represents, and then make sure that you're clear about what Cancer represents. You can't really proceed until you have that stuff out of the way. Now what you can do is you can combine the two. You will look for resonance between what the sun represents and what Cancer represents, and you'll find two types of resonance. One is dissonant and one is harmonious. When you find dissonant resonance between the symbolism of the sun or the planet, whatever planet, and Cancer or whatever sign, then you're going to be interpreting problems. And where you find resonance which is harmonious, then you'll be interpreting happy things. You'll be interpreting the type of benefits that come as a result of this planet being in the sign. And what you'll get by interpreting those resonances is actually a theoretical baseline. The theoretical baseline has to be modified based on the actual condition of the planet in the chart. If a planet in a chart is in a very positive situation, then even the negative interpretations from the baseline can instead have positive permutations. So actually what's very important for you to learn from this video is not so much the specific interpretations that I'll give you, but the identification of what the resonances are between the sun and Cancer. Now let's go ahead and see what those resonances are. The first one that pops to mind is that Cancer is very, very feminine and the sun is very, very masculine. I wouldn't spend too much time trying to interpret this because this resonance is very high up at the root of the symbolism for the planet and the sign. And so the other resonances that we find will probably do all the work of clarifying it for us. So this next resonance that we find is a good example of why you don't separately need to clarify or interpret the masculine-feminine resonance. Because femininity has the nature of being introverted or introspective, and masculinity is extroverted or active. So that's going to be one of the clashes. And femininity, because it's introverted, it has a nature of shyness. And masculinity, it has a nature of confidence and decisiveness. So the clash that we find with masculine femininity has a specific form here in the introversion, extroversion, and the shyness versus confidence. To give you an example of how you would interpret this resonance, with the sun in Cancer, you find a person that's able to hide their true self and their true feelings. They hide the self that they really are. They're shy about that, but they're going to try to cover up that fact by extroverting something that's a facsimile or a pseudo-identity. So sun in Cancer tends to extrovert a pseudo-opinion, a pseudo-feeling, a pseudo-identity in its endeavor to protect and hide its true feeling, its true opinion, its true identity. The next resonance that I want to bring to your attention is that Cancer is very domestic and the sun is very public. The sun is the daytime planet. Cancer belongs to the moon, which is the nighttime planet. So Cancer represents the places where you are at night, and the sun represents the places where you are during the day. The sun is the public life, and Cancer is the private life in the home. So this is another clash. And an example of how you would interpret this resonance is when the sun is in Cancer, it signifies that there's not really a clear line between the public life and the private life. So you'll find people with careers that blend into their home. They can't get away from their career. They work from home, or they are showing their heart as part of their career, but it's not really their heart. And finally, I want to show you one resonance between the sun and Cancer, which we could classify as a harmony. It's that Cancer has to do with emotion. Because it's feminine, so it's introspective, and introspection means you're aware of what's going on inside, so you're aware of feelings. The sun has something that's harmonious with that because the sun is consciousness, is the perceiver. Cancer is very contemplative, and the sun is the perceiver. So there's a harmony here where you can get a contemplative person an empathic person, a person that's actually kind of aware of things that are under the cover, inside the hood, and the inner part of the person. An emotionally acute person, a sympathetic person. So there's a quick run through of the 4 essential things that are symbolized by the sun in Cancer. Make sure the main thing that you take away from this video is what the resonances are. And the secondary thing is the way that I've suggested they can be interpreted. Make sure you remember that you have to consider A, the whole chart, the other planets besides the sun, and B, even for the sun, you have to consider its actual condition in Cancer. What actual dignity does it have by virtue of what amshas it is in, how is it being affected by other planets, etc. It can make it more or less positive or negative than the theoretical dignity of the sun in Cancer, and that would affect the way that you would interpret these resonances. So I know this is supposed to be a basic topic, sun in Cancer, but I don't treat it in a kindergarten way. I'm showing you the actual PhD way to do astrology, even when you're doing these basic things like thinking about the sun in Cancer. Hopefully that tickles your fancy and turns you on to this way of doing things, because this is the same process that you'll be using to evaluate complex situations in a chart. So if you like this, give the video a like, subscribe, because we got a lot more in store for you. The next one up is, of course, going to be the sun in Leo, and we'll continue throughout all the planets and signs. Thank you so much.